Right now, you're losing money. Not because you spent too much, not because you made a mistake, but because the system is quietly designed that way and almost no one notices it happening. You check your bank account and see $200. It feels safe, stable, yours. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That same $200 is slowly losing its power every single day, even if you don't touch it. 6 months from now, it won't buy what it buys today. A year from now, even less. So the real question is, where is that value going? Because it doesn't just disappear. Someone else is gaining it. This is something economists have understood for centuries, but most people were never taught. It's called the Cantillon Effect. And once you truly understand it, you stop blaming yourself for falling behind and start seeing how the system actually works. Most people think inflation is random, like weather, something that just happens. But inflation isn't random, and it definitely isn't equal. It follows a pattern, a very specific order. And that order decides who gets richer and who slowly falls behind. Let's rewind for a moment. Back in the 18th century, an economist named Richard Cantillon asked a simple but powerful question. When new money is created, who gets it first? That question changed everything, because the answer reveals why wealth keeps concentrating at the top, generation after generation. Here's the core idea. Money doesn't enter the economy evenly. It enters in layers. And the people closest to where it's created benefit the most. Everyone else? They get what's left, after prices have already risen. Let's bring this into a modern example. Imagine a crisis hits. The economy slows down, fear spreads. So the central bank steps in and says, we need to stimulate the economy. They create trillions of new dollars. Sounds like everyone should benefit, right? But that's not how it works. That new money doesn't magically appear in your bank account. It enters through the financial system first. Large banks, financial institutions, investment firms. They are first in line. At that moment, something very important is still true. Prices haven't gone up yet. Houses are still cheap. Stocks are still low. Assets are still undervalued. And those with early access to money know exactly what to do. They buy aggressively. Real estate, stocks, businesses. They position themselves before the wave hits. Then, slowly, the money spreads outward. Banks lend to corporations. Corporations buy back shares. Investors push markets higher. Asset prices start rising fast. Now, eventually, some of that money reaches everyday people through salaries, stimulus, or job growth. But by the time it gets to you, prices have already moved. Your rent is higher, groceries cost more, homes feel out of reach, and suddenly your income doesn't stretch as far as it used to. You didn't get poorer because you failed. You got poorer because you were late in the sequence. And here's the part that frustrates people the most. You're told it's your fault. Stop spending, budget better, work harder. But none of those fix a system where new money is distributed unevenly from the start. Let's look at reality. Over the past couple of decades, the money supply has exploded. Trillions of new dollars have been created. If that wealth was evenly distributed, everyone should feel richer. But that's not what happened. Asset owners saw massive gains. Stocks reached record highs. Real estate surged. Meanwhile, wages barely kept up. For many people, their income stayed almost the same while the cost of living quietly climbed higher and higher. This is the Cantillon Effect in action. It's not just inflation. It's who experiences the benefits first. And there's a deeper shift happening here. We've been taught to focus on income, get a better job, earn more money. But income alone doesn't protect you. Ownership does. Because when you own assets, you're no longer just reacting to the system. You start benefiting from it. When money is created, asset prices tend to rise. And if you own those assets, you move with the wave instead of being crushed by it.
This is why two people can earn the same salary but end up in completely different financial situations. One spends everything they earn, the other slowly builds ownership. Over time, the gap between them becomes massive. And here's the reality most people don't talk about. The system isn't necessarily broken, it's just not designed equally. Money is not neutral, it moves in a direction. And more often than not, it flows upward first. So what can you do? Not panic, not complain, but understand. Because once you see the pattern, you can start making different decisions. You stop thinking only like a worker and start thinking like an owner, even in small ways. Because even small ownership changes your position in the system. The biggest shift isn't external, it's how you see money itself. Because the moment you understand this, you stop asking, why am I falling behind? And start asking, how do I move closer to where value is created? That's a completely different game. And the truth is, this isn't taught in schools. It's not explained clearly in mainstream conversations, but it quietly shapes almost every financial outcome around you. Now you see it. The hidden structure, the timing, the flow. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you want to understand how money really works, not the surface level advice, but the deeper mechanics behind wealth, subscribe. Because every week we break down the strategies, systems, and hidden rules that shape who gets ahead and who stays stuck.